The Black Sheep.
You guys ever read Dante's Inferno? A very famous story by Dante himself. Fuck, I forgot what his last name is. I don't know.
Inferno.
Yeah, Dante's Inferno, written by Dante Inferno. But in the story, he talks about, it just starts off with him like waking up in this like forest, and then like he's being guided by this guy. He was saying that God needs Dante himself to go through hell, through all the layers, to get to somewhere, and they're on a mission from God. And so Dante, of course, goes with him because he's a very passionate Christian, and he believes in God. So he like goes into hell, and he's like shaking in his boots the whole time going through it, and there's like 9 layers. And so I'm not gonna talk about all layers because this story is crazy, and if you want to read it, like, it's really good. Well, it's not like really good, and it's also just like super weird. But anyways, I want to talk about layer 7 specifically because I thought that one was pretty cool.
7.
Yeah, so layer 7,
Creepy number.
and it has 3 layers within it. So like the first layer was for people who committed violence against others. So just people who like harmed others. The second part, going in further into it, is for those who committed violence against themselves. Like
Dang, that's worse.
Yes, so it gets really controversial. And so the third is for people who committed violence against God, which just means like people who preach against God, or just like,
Sorry, but your mustache is just like hanging.
it's just hanging off
on this side.
My mustache is hanging off for dear life today, guys.
It's just like I can't. Oh
Anyways.
my god. At least yours looks like a fucking mustache. It just feels horrible.
People that like commit violence against God, which just means like preaching against God, or kind of just like preaching your own philosophy and just not following the righteous way, but also bringing others along with you.
Teaching to people.
Yeah, like teaching to people that like God isn't good, or not, or what's that nihilism, which is like that life has no meaning at all, and there's no religion.
Just making up your own stuff.
So that is worse to him than like killing somebody.
Right.
And so also
you can kill 30 people.
Yeah, but like speaking against God, you're gonna go all the way down to the layer 3rd.
All the way.
3rd layer, the 7th layer. And then also like killing someone else is not as bad to him as killing yourself. Because like that's what it says in the Bible. Your body is a temple, and you shouldn't like harm it or whatever. That 3rd layer also is unnatural things like homosexuality and bestiality.
Of course.
So supposedly to him, you know, homosexuality is the worst of the worst rather than killing somebody. At the time, I guess it was kind of seen as a little bit more natural. I mean, a little bit more like easy. Obviously, because right now this is laughable. It's like everybody is gay, dude. He's just gay. Like, it's not like he should be in fucking hell.
Because
right?
he's gay.
Yeah, so like, but back then, I guess that was just,
I was like, yeah, are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Is that even a question that you're going to go to hell because you're gay?
So anyways, so on the first layer, there's a boiling blood river. And there's people in it just soaking. But it's boiling. And it's blood. So like people are just in there. And then there's these...
Like a hot tub?
Yeah. And then there's these centaurs, right?
Is that the half horse, half man?
Half horse, half man, who are around the river, around the bank with bow and arrows. And if anyone tries to escape...
They kill him.
They don't kill him, but you can't die in hell.
Oh.
So...
They just hurt you.
They just hurt you. It's
Jeez.
really, really
cause
badly.
you some bad pain.
Yeah, so they just like throw a bow and arrow at you, like, get back in there right now.
Damn.
So, and then there's also like, as you get closer to like the deeper parts of the river, there's people that are completely submerged under, and those are the people that like are worse. They did some worse things or whatever. The next layer is a forest, and then it's like just full of trees. But as they get closer, they realize that the trees are people, and so like there's like these. It's just a regular forest, but the trees are people, and those are the people that committed violence against themselves. Supposedly, like, there's like birds and stuff that like eat the fruits of the trees, and it's like really, really painful. And like as the leaves fall off, it really hurts. And like when an animal comes by and like breaks off some bark, it's just like peeling your skin off. And supposedly it's because like you didn't take care of your body when you were alive, so it's just gonna get worse now. And the 3rd layer, this one was pretty crazy. This is all in the 7th layer, but the 3rd layer there's like they get to this giant like clear area, and it's full of like sand, like beach sand, but it's still surrounded by the forest. But they get to this giant like area where it's just clear, and they see that there's people just walking around, and they're like very sad, and then there's people that are sitting down on the sand, and they even look even more sad, which is they're like, okay, that's weird. Everyone's like screaming in pain for some reason, and there's like these like it's snowing, but the snow is like little bits of ashes that like burn you as they get on, like, it's like raining, but they like burn you as they touch you. And then they also heat up the sand because it's like pouring out, like whatever that is. They heat up the sand and then make you like, whenever you walk on the sand, there's just sand everywhere, but whenever you're walking, you're getting like 3rd-degree burns on your feet, just everywhere.
So you're just basically always in pain.
Yeah. And then you can't go anywhere. You're just walking around in circles. Everyone's doing the same thing.
Yeah.
And so at one point, Dante tries to sit down on the sand, and then the person that he's with is like, don't sit down on the sand, because once you take a rest for 1 second, or once you take a seat there, you're there for 100 years.
Holy fuck.
So like all the people that are there and
sitting?
No one tells them, everyone that's sitting is there for 100 years.
And we just can't get up.
Yeah, just can't get up, and you're just burning because like the sand is hot. So everyone's like walking around, and like no one knows, or no one knew, right? When you're new to hell or whatever you are, you're just like, I'm gonna take a seat now because I don't want to be standing. But then boom, you just in that same state for 100 years.
That's fucking crazy.
And so this guy like did all this in his head.
Yeah.
Like he thought about all this stuff.
He's like, this is what hell would be like.
Yeah. It's a pretty creative guy.
He put himself in it.
Well, yeah, but he's not in hell.
Right, but he put himself in the story in hell. That's kind of interesting.
Yeah.
I think that's like the thing that most people talk about when they talk about, hell and stuff, is that like people that are there are just constantly in pain all the time.
Yes.
In one way or another. They're just being caused, and this pain just being tortured, and it's just not, obviously they're making it, the point is to make it sound so unpleasant
that you would just never want to be there.
Yeah, no one wants to go to hell, because why? Because that's just what we know of it.
Mm-hmm.
It's what we've been told. So that's where you want to go. That's
Well,
why you want to go, to
I
see the freaking boiling sand.
Well, I want to be Dante. Dante's like walking through there, just looking at everything. But I don't want to be there.
Right. Okay, so that would be pretty cool.
Yeah, exactly. So if you find that portal, there has to be a way out, as
but
above.
it's saying there isn't. So then would you actually risk it?
Yeah,
No.
I don't think so. I don't think I would risk it. But maybe I would. Cause
Like
it's
if
like,
you didn't know for sure if there was a way to get out, would you would risk it?
Yeah, because I feel like there's like, how like, I feel like there would be someone in hell that is like un coyote or something that can take you through the end.
And no, there's no coyotes.
You don't think so?
They're just werewolves. They're gonna eat you.